Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So as you probably read it, I'm going to be studying for free here in the US as an international master's student. Let's look at it how. Graduate studies here in the US are super expensive in general, and if you don't be careful with your expenses and money management, it can burn a hole through your pocket super quickly. Now, a lot of colleges do offer full-time scholarships and fully paid for tuition here in the US, but for that you need to be either a researcher working under some professor or having some sort of extraordinary achievements from your past. But there is one more way in which you can get a full tuition right for free and study for free here in the US, and that is through teaching assistantships. Now, TA-ships are of different kinds in different universities. What I'm going to be talking today is specifically to University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, but it trickles down to most of the public universities here in the US. This video is divided into three parts. First of all, what are teaching assistantships here in the US and in UIUC in particular? What are the benefits you get out of teaching assistantships, and how can you get one? How do you approach for one? So let's start with the number one thing. What is a teaching assistantship and why is it so useful? So they come in different kinds here at University of Illinois, probably from 25 up to 67%, and all of those are divided into the number of hours. So 25 is probably 10 hours a week, 50 is 20 hours, and there's the 67, which us international students can't do because it goes over a maximum working threshold of 20 hours a week. Now, all of these different teaching assistantships have different kinds of pay scale and different kinds of benefits that you get and different responsibilities that you have to undertake. Going into that, the benefits of teaching assistantship. First is, obviously, as you saw in the video title, it's a tuition waiver. You get to study for free here at University of Illinois if you hold a teaching assistantship as a graduate student. Now, the benefits of teaching assistantships are different for different percentages as we talked about. But all of them have one thing in common, is you get a tuition waiver and you get to study for free. Coming to the stipend part of things, the stipend is divided into different parts depending on the percentage of work you have. So because the number of hours you'll be putting in is different. For 25% there's a different stipend, for 50% there's a different stipend. For us international students, 50% would probably pay you somewhere close to $2,900 a month, which goes a long way over here, especially at University of Illinois, because you can pay your rent, you can do your monthly groceries, and any extra expenses that you may or may not have. It's really helpful for us as an international students because we don't get to pay the tuition fee that we have to, which can go upwards of $20,000 or more depending on the university you're studying in, and B, you get a stipend as well. By getting that stipend, you're essentially paying for your rent, your groceries, your other expenses. You have to go watch a movie with friends, you want to go play bowling, you want to go take a trip to Las Vegas or something like that. You are essentially paying for that. So it's really beneficial and we don't have to spend anything out of our pocket. Now, coming to how to approach for teaching assistantships and how you can get one, it's where it gets a little bit tricky because not everyone is guaranteed a teaching assistantship, because if that was the case, then everyone would be studying here for free and the university won't make any money. So the way I did it was I reached out to professors early on before even I joined here on campus, just reaching out to multiple professors whose subjects interest you, who the things which they are working on interest you, the kind of classes they are taking interest you, and that is something which you would want to do. The second way in which you can apply for teaching assistantships is through a portal. Like here at University of Illinois, we have this portal called Assistantship Clearinghouse, where they post different kinds of assistantships all around the year, and they are on a rolling basis. So when you see one, you apply for one if that is something you want to apply for and that is something you want to be an assistant for, and you may or may not get selected depending on your experience, your resume, and stuff like that. If that doesn't work out, then there's a third option of reaching out to department supervisors. So something which happened to my friend as well, in the first semester itself, when we joined University of Illinois, we didn't really get any assistantships from our department, which is the computer science department, but you can reach out to professors and department heads throughout the campus. For example, for him it was electronics department, which he reached out to, and luckily they had just a vacant position by then, and he just reached out to the person who was in charge of handling all the assistantships for that department. And when his name came up in her email and they saw that they have a vacancy for that particular role, they kind of just interviewed him and got him through the process, and he got a tuition waiver outside of the CS department as well. So the roles keep on opening up at different times throughout the year. It's not necessarily that if a department head denies you for an assistantship at one point in time, you cannot reach out back to them again sometime during the mid semester, because some or the other assistant might have left for some kind of research work, or some other thing might have happened in which the positions may open up. The fourth thing is, which is the most straightforward for everyone, is performing well in class. If you perform well in class and if you maintain a good relationship with the professor, if the professor notices you and he likes the kind of work that you put in, the hard work that you put in, you're basically acing that class. Even if you're acing that class, there will be no one better than to teach or prepare the material for that class than you. So maintaining good relationship with the professor is super important, because if the professor notices you, he knows you by your name, there's a very high likelihood that when you reach out to him towards the end of semester or towards the middle part of the semester to ask for opportunities in the next semester, that you may get hired for that position. And assistants leave all the time. Someone graduating this semester might not be able to continue being an assistant for the next semester and stuff like that. So it's always better to maintain a good relationship with the professor. So these were my 2 cents on how you could get an assistantship here at University of Illinois and in any public universities in the US in general, because it's all very same to university, especially for public universities, as I mentioned. So as international student, it helps us out a lot by not having to pay any tuition, getting a stipend in return, which we can use for our own expenses and stuff like that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.